Pecha Kucha 195, my relationship with gaming. So I had a strange day yesterday, and I kind of think I'm going back to work soon, and it made me kind of reflect on the fact that I define myself as a gamer first and an artist second, and what that ultimately means for me as a guy that needs to flip that around. So I started the week playing Valkyria Chronicles 4, a terrible, terrible game. I was going to bitch about it for 2/3 of the Pecha Kucha. Suffice to say, it's the kind of game I can play because I have the luxury of time and I can afford to be forgiving, but it wasn't an intelligent way to spend my time, even though I don't regret it. On Saturday, Mount & Blade Bannerlord went on sale again. A game I have every interest in, but it's clearly not, it's still in the oven. It needs more time. It made me go back to the first Mount & Blade because I own that. I don't have to pay anything extra to play that. And I enjoyed it until I didn't, because I've done it all before. And there's nothing worse than when you realize you're wasting your time. It felt very quintessential of a Saturday from, say, 2005. And being acutely aware that nothing has changed over that kind of period, it kind of messes with your head a bit. And then in the evening, it's been a very long time since I played a Dynasty Warriors game, so I pulled out the most recent one I had, which is recent, and it is terrible. And I was acutely aware of that as well. Now, Mount & Blade and Dynasty Warriors in general are two games that I regard as, say, comfort food. I also finished the day looking at the numbers from work, and I expect that they're going to end the furloughing, if not next month, then definitely the month after. There's financial incentive for them to get their staff back, but there's also financial incentive for them to wait a while. But I don't remember my job, and that's why I picked that meme, because I honestly don't know what I do at work anymore. Like I was saying earlier, I do define myself as a gamer. It is what I do. Pretty much when I'm free to do anything, it's what I do. It's what I think about, and it's what I enjoy. If I'm not gaming, I'm like that guy from Heavy Rain. Everything totally fucking sucks. And I just want to get back to gaming. And this includes doing art. It's more than is it an addiction? Is it a compulsion? Is it my hobby? Is it my entertainment? It's all of the above. And I do need to figure out what I do with that, because what I should be doing more of, but what I always struggle with, is doing smiley shows. This is a first step in a multi-step plan of being a creative, putting stuff out, being a producer, being a creator, being an author, being a storyteller. And why the smiley show? Because it's a very simple means of spreading joy. Joy, happy, joy, around the world. And that's kind of what I hope to give back to society for all the good people have done for me in my life, that I certainly bloody well don't deserve, sitting here playing Kenshi all the bloody time. The reason I'm always playing games like Kenshi is because I still believe I have an infinite number of tomorrows to sit down, learn my craft properly, execute my plans, build a fan base, turn it into profit, at the very least breaking even, and then I can do what I think I should be doing. But what happens when I actually get out of bed? I play games like Warhammer. I can't believe I've clocked over 1,000 hours playing this game. I can, because I know what the loading times are like. But this is the juxtaposition between who I am and who I want to be. And since I'm going to lose a lot of my time in the future, it's kind of hit me right now. What am I going to do? The Pecha Kucha, the entire purpose of these videos every week is to force me to not waste an entire week gaming, just most of the week. I do things, not as much as I should, but certainly more than I would otherwise. It was a good idea I had at university, talking to a friend about how to be more accountable. I have also done real work for real clients and been ostensibly paid real money through freelancing websites. The money is terrible. It's not a career, and I didn't I learned a lot doing logo design, but I've got to be honest, being an Adobe Illustrator feels like it's the opposite of illustration. This year I did a bit of storyboarding, which was far more my speed, but there's kind of no safety measures for this. Someone says, draw a cityscape. I don't know how to do that. I've got to wing it, and the only way to really learn is to keep winging it. Is it any wonder I spend my time playing Kenshi? It's a safe environment. It's full of interesting, cool things. I can tiger knee people's heads off. It's great. So there's no real conclusion to this. It's just, how do I juxtapose who I am against who I want to be in the future without seemingly turning my back on all the things I enjoy? And I've been reading a fair amount of books that offer some insight into why I am the way I am, why I think the way I think, and how I can get out of the habits I have, including procrastination, to achieve a better, true work-life balance. And, I come up with things like the 1-2-3-2-1 rule, which was like, start the week slow, build up to a heavier workload in the middle of the week, and then bring it down again, because nothing demoralizes me more than a fixed schedule. These things work until they don't. When it comes to gaming, there are ways to enjoy it without having to be sucked into a 40-hour gaming cycle. I enjoy the Mortal Kombat series simply by watching the cutscenes on YouTube. I don't need to play the beat 'em up at all. I'd like to give the money to support the excellent things they're doing, but honestly, I'm in and out like a bank job. It's a little bit harder with games like Death Stranding that represent the very few AAA masterpieces liable to come out in any given year. But I didn't really need to play Death Stranding any more than I need to play The Last of Us 2, God of War 4, or Cyberpunk. I know they're excellent games, but I've managed psychologically to shift myself over the last probably 5 to 10 years to not caring very much about AAA releases. I played Death Stranding. I might not have even played it in the year of its release. I don't remember when it came out. I played it this year, and I'm glad I did, but it's neither here nor there. Like I said earlier, there's no real conclusion to this, but next week and the week after, I think there's going to be some more schemes to try and get me back on track for where I think I need to be, so I can eventually get a Patreon going, see if that goes anywhere. As always, watch this space. If I do anything, it'll be in the next Pecha Kucha. So that brings us to the end of Pecha Kucha 195, and I'll see you next time.